shit. Okay, now we need to possibly use the rockets. No. Yes. Come on. No. Come on. No. Oh, God damn it. Wait, we can do it. Oh. Why do you hate me? Oh. Oh no. I'm not crying. I've got soot in my eyes. Hello world, it's BIRDOPREY.
Fire in the sky.
Applause.
Good shooting, Mr. Scott.
It's the anti-checker. We were
Okay, here's the laughable thing. I was just saying I almost pulled a BIRDOPREY 5 when I looked and saw that my microphone was muted. So I did pull a BIRDOPREY 5. Fortunately, not a 20-minute long BIRDOPREY 5 like BIRDOPREY 5 would typically do. So, just so you know, and that's probably Mrs. Antchecker telling me that the sound's not on. Yes, so that was Mrs. Antchecker. So thank you, babe, if you're still listening. I got it now. So now that I've proven what an idiot I was, Mrs. Antchecker was actually first in the chat today, babe. Way to go. I'm very proud of you. Sci-Fi Guy was second, says greetings. Rock Solid third, says first. Valor says hi, everyone. Thomas says hi, and an uncharacteristic fifth for Thomas. And then BIRDOPREY said no music, and that's when I was saying, oh, I almost did a BIRDOPREY 5 because I didn't unmute the system and the music wasn't playing, so I took care of that, but I forgot to unmute the microphone like an idiot. Mr. Miles says, of course you'd go live and not tell you. We were just talking in Skype, and I said, hey, I'm late for my live stream. What'd you think I was going to do? Not go live? Resolute said hi. Bradley says, zup. Hey, and Bradley also says, muted as F. Yeah, I screwed up. Mike Richards is here, says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Valor saying hi to the missus. Thomas says, I thought the Karoga Devil got you. I'll tell you, I felt like the Karoga Devil got me today. It's been a rough day. But number 26, everyone's favorite breakfast, here it comes.
The toast and eggs are really good, but there seems to be something missing. Yeah, that's what you're having for breakfast? That simply won't do. Follow me instead. What kind of place are you taking us to? A place that will introduce you to Frosted Fruity Hulls. Not only does it have 4 unique fruity flavors, but it also has a glazed frost that makes it extra yummy.
How do they get so deliciously frosty?
The frostiness of Frosted Fruity Hulls, of course, comes from this hull. Part of a complete nutritious breakfast.
Yes, a true classic. From the and you know Bird likes those old commercials, so you know what, Bird, you should take that commercial and mix it in with your old commercials every now and then. That would be hilarious. Let's see, Crusher says here but not here. So I saw, and I know you said later that you're leaving, so if you're still here, Wesley, thanks for dropping by. If you're not still here, well, oh well. Mr. Wolverine says, well, hello there. Hey, Mr. Wolverine. Mrs. Antchecker is saying hi to Bird. Mr. Miles says, you didn't tell me, hey, I'm going live. Shut the F up. Well, I understand, but I apologize, Miles. I thought you would figure that out. Bradley says, Bird is Bird whacking off. Yes, in fact, he was. Thomas says, sobbing, oh, pray 5. Valor's talking to Bird. Wesley says can't stay. I'm sorry you couldn't stay, Wesley. If you're gone already, oh well. If you're still here, sorry you can't stay. Bird says talk back to Valor. Son of a Red Shirt says greetings, Hall. I hope you had a Trek-tastic day. Well, it depends. If today were a Star Trek episode, it would definitely not be one of the better ones. It would have been one of the not-so-great ones. Not like Star Trek Discovery bad, but more like a bad episode, or we'll say a below-average episode of Voyager kind of day. Basically, this morning, had the MRI on my knee. That was relatively uneventful, except for it's too dang early to go. The MRI was at 7 in the morning. We had to be there at like 6:40. That was no fun. Then Auntie had her class today that she was supposed to go to yesterday, but yesterday was too booked, so we did that this afternoon. And then I get a text message from the psychologist that did the evaluation with me yesterday, because after I talked to her, I called Sedgwick, and Sedgwick, the insurance company, said that, oh yeah, we'll send her the forms to fill out and send in first thing tomorrow morning, which will be today, of course. And so the psychologist texted me a couple hours ago saying, hey, I never got anything from them. What's going on? Because they send by fax, so she should have gotten it. So I called Sedgwick, and now they're saying, oh, well, it'll take 2 to 3 days, but that's too long. So I said, well, 2 to 3 days, it'll be too late. And they said, well, you can have her fax in the stuff, even though we haven't sent the form. And so I called her back, and she's faxing them the stuff. So that it was just stupid. That's all it is just stupid bureaucracy for bureaucracy's sake. It is just, Sedgwick is just such a horrible company. Anyway, I'm sorry. So that's my day in a nutshell. Don't forget, people, smash that like button, share via social, set chat to live, donate if you can, subscribe to a good YouTube channel, viewer choice, and down with Karoga. Absolutely, my friend. Very, very good. So being prey. Commander Shutter is here, says howdy, how you doing? Mr. Wolverine says best opening yet. He birded it. I did, Bird. I did. And now a few comments about the lack of sound. I'm deaf, says Resolute. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, get the sound. Holy crap, the Kurogans made me deaf. Gone deaf. Seems Sanctuary is having a boomer moment. A boomer moment? No, it's a bird moment. Yell at him upstairs, but actually Miss Anttricker is not home right now. She's out with Joshua, so but fortunately she texted me. Roxalt says, I remember my first stream. Mr. Miles then says first, okay. Nearly thought you were going to mime to us. Oh, I'll have to do that sometime. That would just mess with all you guys. And tell him 29 is, I don't think I've seen you around before, so welcome. Bradley says Mrs. Antstricker is always number one. That is true. Mrs. Antstricker is saying hi to a few people. And let's see. Thomas says, since I'm an idiot and I can't make a ship, should I build Mrs. Antstricker a throne room? Absolutely, Thomas. And one thing you can do is behind her throne, put an entire wall of LCD screens and then I'll put the image on there, the Mrs. Anti-Trekker image. So make it as big as you want, and I will split the image of Mrs. Anti-Trekker out over that. So yes. Jason says, howdy, skipped watching JP and Egotastic Fun Time for this. Wow, I'm sorry, Jason. I'm sorry. If your day was a discovery bad, I'd expect you to have been shot. Exactly, Resolute. So it's very hard to have a day quite that bad. How's the Goliath? Is she space worthy? Not quite yet. We're working on assembling it through the projector. I've never done this before, so it's taking a little longer. And Bradley saying Goliath online, battle cruiser operational. Not yet. But boy, it's going to be fun when it is. I actually, I didn't know Bird of Prey had a big old Bird of Prey, apparently, that I know that Bird of Prey didn't actually build, because Bird of Prey doesn't do anything on the Kurogan side of things while I'm in there in the trenches with Turtistan. And so it's, we'll fight the Bird of Prey, but it's not really like fighting Bird of Prey, because Bird of Prey can't make a ship. Wesley says, I've dealt with Sedgwick. They are horrible. They absolutely are. Hi, Antrigger. How's it going? According to Bird in his live stream this afternoon, Thomas Potts is misguided or misgendered. Well, Bird of Prey is just jealous of the fact that Thomas is, more of a man than Bird is. And working out a surprise to help the cause, i.e. jump drives. I'm just over 200 kilometers away from New Turtistan. Oh, very cool. I have not made a jump drive yet, so that's something I got to learn how to do in the game. Wesley says, went to the beach and a stingray got my foot. Oh, man, I'm sorry, Wesley. I've never had that happen. I've known people that have stepped on stingrays, and I understand it is definitely not a pleasant experience. And of course, Mecha Random goes live right now, so much for having a very busy stream tonight. Let's see. Mr. Londell is here. Hey, Mr. Londell. Someone was asking about you on Bird Stream, saying they haven't seen you in a while. So, I thought I'd seen you recently, but apparently over on Bird's stream, they're missing you. And Multi-Gunman claims to be first. He's a little off. If you mime during a live stream, you have to do it when Luke is online. It'll make him feel right at home. You are right, Vile Mike. We need to do that. Oh, man. Did you know that Star Wars stole from a 1955 British movie based on a true story about an RAF raid to destroy 3 dams? Yes, the Dam Busters. I actually have that movie. Yes, the trench run from Star Wars was a direct ripoff of the Dam Busters. That is absolutely true. But that's all right. It's, it's one thing, and here's the thing. It's one thing to borrow from old, relatively obscure sources, or to pay homage to well-known sources. But I think, Star Wars was an homage to all things that came before it. Flash Gordon and those types of things. Even some Star Trek. Obviously, he loved World War II stuff, so there's a lot of World War II in Star Wars. So, it's just one more thing. Vile says, need to work on jump drives myself. Took me a day to go around the planet, my tiny little sky. Yeah, that's the problem. That 100 meters per second in the game is too slow. But if you make it super fast, then you lose control real easy and end up dead. So it's kind of a catch-22. Tyler says, check Discord, because you guys hate me, and I hate checking Discord during the stream. So what do? You make me check Discord. And Tyler, I think you are... let's see, is that the Denise Crosby? This is too funny not to share. Okay, well, let's take a look. So that is kind of funny. So here's the deal. This is an advertisement for an upcoming Fan Expo Canada in Toronto. And Denise Crosby is going to be there. Very cool. So the advertisement, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second, guys. But this is really funny. The advertisement has a picture of Denise Crosby wearing her next-gen outfit from back in the day. And behind her is, well, let's take a look. Behind her, you can see what appears to be a Constitution-class ship. It is the Phase 2 Enterprise. If you look carefully, you can see the torpedo tubes from the refit. The warp nacelles back there look like the refit. However, the secondary hull and primary hull look very much like TOS. That's what Phase 2 basically looked like before it got canned and turned into Star Trek The Motion Picture. But not only that, the picture is inverted. If you look at the registry, it's backwards because it's a mirrored image. This is like some seriously sloppy work here. I don't know who made that ad, but man, that person should be absolutely out of a job. So yes, thank you for sending that to me. I saw you said that earlier, but I didn't get a chance to look in Discord much today. So, but thank you for pointing that out, even though I hate looking at Discord. All right, let's see. Where was I? All right, Wesley's talking to, or Vile's talking to Wesley. Bradley says, be careful when you use jump drives. Easy to lose ships forever when something goes wrong. I don't doubt it. Sci-Fi Sith is in the house, says, hello there. How you doing, Sci-Fi Sith? And BIRDOPREY says, we saw Mr. Londell today. Okay, good. Mecha's on. Do I stay for the surly of leave or the bouncy? Well, stay for the surly or leave for the bouncy. That's a tough call, Vile. I would say kind of depends on if Vile Child is in the room. If Vile Child is in the room, then you should probably stay for the surly. I mean, you don't want to give Vile Child a bad example by leaving for the bouncy. Just saying. Daniel is in the house, says, hi, and Checker. So excited the CBS Viacom remerger. I guess Midnight's Edge can't say the Discovery is an alternate timeline anymore since it's under one roof now. Well, that's actually an interesting point. And I know Midnight's Edge has been saying that for a while, and don't get me wrong, I'm certainly not knocking Midnight's Edge. They seem like a good group of guys. I would love to be on one of their live streams sometime with them. But the problem with, and I understand, Midnight's Edge has their inside sources, as does Nerdrotic and others, because these people will reach out to the larger channels and give them information. But sometimes that information turns out to be false, and sometimes it turns out to be true. And so their whole thing about the secret deals and the different universes and the different I take all that with a grain of salt. If you shoot a mime, should you use a silencer? That is actually a very good question, Rock Solid. I don't know the answer to that. Will you be on Space Engineers Sunday morning? I'll try to build a ship that can make it to space and to view in person your behemoth of a ship. I will have all weapon systems offline. Commander, I don't know for sure if I will be on Space Engineers Sunday, but if I am, I will let you know. Mr. Londell says, some of us have real jobs like me. I understand. Well, and the only reason I have a real job, I just haven't been able to do it lately. So that kind of sucks. I thought the Death Star we have has a jump drive that you arrive in during a battle. Shh, Thomas, quiet. Thomas says, SOB, I leaked classified information. Yes, you did. Don't be talking about the Death Star. Nobody knows about the Death Star. They just know about the Goliaths. So, yeah. Rock Solid says, hashtag no Discord during streams. Yes. If you mime during a live stream, I'll never forgive you. That would look way too pretentious in white face and a beret. Wait, now that I've said that, I would have to see this. Mime, damn you, mime. Not going to happen. I can't get into a cockpit to attach to anything. Yes, I'm an idiot. Well, maybe you're doing it wrong, Thomas. Actually, your problem is you're calling it a cockpit. Don't you know it is a genitalia pit? It is not a cockpit anymore. That is an offensive term. You must call it genitalia pit. Couldn't get the rights to use them, maybe. To use the cockpit? Oh, I wonder if that's a hint for the Shat showing up there. Oh, I don't think Shatner's going to show up. Hey, that's grade A work for Canadians. Okay, I didn't realize that. BIRDOPREY says to Thomas Pot, jump drives are cheating. How are they cheating if they're in the game? That's like saying, oh, shooting your weapons is cheating. Whatever. I always start with the cockpit. It helps to build scaffolding too. That's true. And I actually, most of my ships have multiple cockpits genitalia pits, depending on the design of the ship. In fact, maybe I'll show you one. Is my failed ship still against the green wall behind Nicole's ship? I don't know. Well, we'll take a look here, but I honestly don't know. I haven't, I know there's some stuff lying around the base because the base has been drastically expanded by you guys, but yeah. So let me see here. We'll switch over and take a quick look. All right, let's see. Behind the green wall where Nicole's ship is. Well, let's see. There's the pack rat. I don't know what green wall you're talking about, Thomas. Let's see. Trying to make sure that none of our secret stuff ends up on camera. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about there. I mean, what's this? Is this, wow, that's, who made this? This was made by Chris. So yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Thomas. I don't see it. Sorry, buddy. And then for some reason, Multi-Gunman's talking to Bird. Well, I know Bird's his dictator and all that. Cinnabon is in the house, says hello. Hey, Cinnabon, good to see you. My inside source was right. I was the first to confirm Picard's dog name was number 1. Also first to confirm the Orville was canceled from Fox. The Orville was not canceled. Jeez. Sci-Fi says, still too busy to go back to Stargate. I plan on getting back into Stargate pretty soon here, to be honest with you. I have missed it. Although I wish Jack O'Neill was on it more. Let's see. Actually, the Vile Child would probably like Mecha. The Vile Child's girlfriend is a giddy little nerdette, too. Okay, well, but you don't really want to encourage the bouncy. I mean, you know, you don't want to have a vile grandchild too early. You know what I'm saying? Every version of Star Trek differs from each other just enough so that you could argue they're all in different timelines. Well, actually, I'll say this. You could argue that from TOS to the next gen era, I would say you could argue that like the next gen era or wave 2 of Star Trek was in a different timeline. From TOS to the TOS movies, though, that was a natural progression, and they're even the same characters, and they talk about the fact that the Enterprise has changed and stuff. So I don't see that. And also going from TNG to Deep Space Nine to Voyager also feels like a natural progression. Enterprise is an odd man out. So Enterprise feels like, so you have the Enterprise timeline, the TOS timeline, the TNG era timeline, and the Discovery timeline. And now, of course, we have the Picard. We'll see what happens with that. BIRDOPREY says there's no Death Star. Sure there's not. Make a finger gun when shooting a mime just as effective and it already makes no sound. That's true. Didn't think about that. Why does YouTube love Mecha and not Anti-Checker? I got Mecha stream notification, but not yours. Well, because Mecha is a much larger channel. And larger channels get priority, to be honest with you, Josh. That's just the simple truth of it. So larger channels are forgiven more by YouTube for various violations of terms of service. Larger channels are actually given contacts within YouTube if they have major problems. Larger channels get priority for things like notifications, and even like if you have a video that's flagged for demonetized, they get priority for the manual review process. They just, yeah. Honestly, the larger the channel, the more like a real person YouTube will start to treat you. And that's crap to me. but that's the way they do it. And I'm not dissing Mecca over that, or Nerdrotic, or any other large channel that gets more love from YouTube. I certainly don't begrudge them. I don't like the way that Google runs things. Basically, the way Google looks at it is, unless you're making us a bunch of money, we don't give a crap about you. A mime is a terrible thing to waste. You're wrong. It's a gender fluid pit. No, it is a genitalia pit. In Karoga, a cockpit is called a coffin. That is very true, Josh. That is the official Karogan designation. When it comes to cheating, Bird is an expert. That is true. Bird is an expert, but simply using something that is in the game is not cheating. Darren is in the house. Good to see you. Darren says, what's up? Just call it an armpit. Well, but then you're going to offend people that have no arms. Crew pit, except that it doesn't hold a crew, it just holds a pilot, and pilot pit doesn't sound right. The green wall is where the door's on. Where's the doors on? Doors of the base. Okay, well, behind the green wall is the interior of the base, so you got me confused, Thomas. You really have me confused. That picture you showed us probably didn't get the rights to use the official pictures of the ship. Yeah, but maybe not, but they got the picture of Denise Crosby from TNG, so just bootleg it if you're going to bootleg it. John DeMarco says, greetings, how you doing? Thomas says Stargate Origins because he hates Mr. Miles. Root Snoot the Newt says, crying bird. A bird almost made me cry today. Oh, well, that sucks. I hope that bird's okay. In the meantime, though, well, there is a crying bird out
Do you hate me? Oh.
Poor bird.
Oh.
Yes, there's definitely a crying bird out there. Holy shit, y'all. I've been busy building a lot of stuff. Well, you see, unlike Karoga, the Turdistanis are an industrious people. You see, but the difference between them is that, like, a lot of this stuff, I didn't even know they were building until I saw it. And it's like, holy crap, you guys are awesome. Whereas in Karoga, they have to, like, whip and scream and try and torture people into doing work. And so they're begrudgingly doing it. But those that can try to escape. Anything made in association with Bad Robot is not canon. I'm sorry, Resolute, but that's not true. I know, I understand that in your head canon, and head canon is fine. You can say, it doesn't count, but it counts. Don't forget, people, smash the like button, share via social, set chat to live, donate if you can, subscribe, turn the mic on before your stream, check Discord, and down with Karoga. Jerk. See any good movies yet? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say good, period, piece, films about fast food pioneers. Wait, not yet, Darren. Mainly because, like, last couple of days, me and Mrs. Antrecker have both been absolutely exhausted. And so, hopefully, in the next couple of days, we'll be able to get a little bit of rest. Sci-Fi says, yeah, next gen is another. It's called the Pouring Timeline. I'm not going to comment on that. Did anyone know the actor who played Dr. Richard Daystrom in The Ultimate Computer was also Blackula? Yes, very true. William Marshall, just some random information. He was also the king of cartoons on the Pee Wee Herman show. Yes. Check Discord, because what I wrote is way too long to put in the chat. Daniel, you jerk. All right, let me see. What'd you put in here? Daniel's Hot Topics. Now I got to move the screen over so I can read it. I have a friend. He lives in LA and his family threw him out because his behavior. Anyway, my friend Steampunk is obsessed with TNG all the time. And on talking about Next Generation, he says that the majority of people like Next Generation. However, he does admit that the majority of general audience like action movies, Star Wars, and Avengers. So I turn around on him and say, there you go. The majority prefer action films. Look how the Avengers made over $2 billion. Star Trek has never made that money. There you go. The majority don't care about your stupid, peaceful, cerebral BS. The majority prefers Star Wars more. Recently, the Avengers. He knows I'm right, but he does not want to admit defeat, and he even says, I don't want to lower myself, I don't want to admit defeat. What an A. Anti-checker, may I have your Skype address? Because I'd like to talk to you and send you some video messages if you like. You can type here. You go. I will give it to you. I got to dig it out because I don't even know my own Skype address. But I'll tell you, actually, Daniel, put your Skype address in there, and then I'll send you a contact request. That way I don't have to try and figure it out. I suck with Skype. Anyway, but here's the thing. When it comes to like the basic topic of discussion with your friend, is it's true that, you know, like Avengers, biggest grossing movie of all time, action like Star Wars will always make more money than cerebral Star Trek. However, that's okay. And the problem is that, and I get it, CBS has been trying to make Star Trek into an action franchise in order to compete with Star Wars. But the problem is, two Star Wars is one Star Wars too many. We don't need two Star Wars. And Star Trek may never make the money of Star Wars, but you know what? Star Trek money is good money if you make good Star Trek. And so, yeah, are you going to become the next Avengers franchise? No. But are you going to have a steady money-making franchise? Absolutely. Darren says, William Marshall's voice was awesome. Yes, it was. Paying customers to YouTube also get every single notification. It's my $10 a month to Google. Well, there you go. I didn't know. See, I'm not a paying, I don't have YouTube Red or whatever their premium or whatever they're calling it this week. Mark Patterson says, Trigger, hi, Trigger, good to see you. How's the knee today? The knee, I'll tell you, when they did the injections on my back yesterday, my legs just ache and ache and ache. So hopefully the aching goes away. They say it can take a couple of weeks for that to fade. So I'll let you know. Unless your name is Tim Pool, then YouTube tells you to screw off. Well, that's because Tim Pool is a hard right conservative. So, and so of course he's public enemy number one to Google. Your waste is a terrible thing to mind. Yes. Okay. You should just call it flight deck. Well, that would have, you could say a flight deck is like the deck of an aircraft carrier. And the bridge is a command center or like the CIC. But the problem, a bridge has multiple people, so it's genitalia pit. The Google Insider turned over 950 pages and laptop over to the DOJ. Wow, that could turn out to be very interesting. Let's see. Mr. Lundell's talking to Son of a Red Shirt. Off topic, but does anyone remember the show Sequest? Yes, I do remember Sequest. Sequest was a fun show. The Turdistanis are industrious at stealing Kurogan technology. What are you even talking about? We haven't even been on the planet since long before you guys ever managed to get a ship to not fly into a mountain. So, sorry. And let's see. And Rock Solid is saying, seriously, check Discord. You guys, I hate you all. Rock Solid, you didn't even send me anything on Discord. Don't tell me to check Discord if you didn't even bother to send me anything. Don't be a jerk. Let's see. I'm going to just read the stuff addressed to me for a minute until we get caught up here a little bit. Josh says, Turkestan is in the early stages of the interplanetary space age, and Kuroga just got out of the industrial age. Yes, that is very true. And let's see here. Darren says, Antchecker, I'm of the opinion Star Trek fans determine whether or not Bad Robot Secret Hideout crap is canon or not, because it obviously isn't. Well, except that, you see, here's the thing. There's canon, and then there's continuity, right? Now, canon, the term canon means that an author is an authoritative expert on whatever it is has determined, and you know this, Darren, I mean, like biblical canon, for example. The authoritative expert was, of course, there's like the Council of Nicaea, right? And they got together and determined what the canon of the Bible is. Now, the Protestant canon of the Bible is the 66 books that most Protestants call the Bible. The Catholic version has a couple more books in it than the Protestant version. There's a little bit of disagreement on canon there. Now, in Star Trek, the authorized owner of the franchise is CBS, right? Not Paramount, but CBS. CBS can tell you what is and is not canon. You may not like what they include in canon, just like you may not like every book that was included in the Bible, or you may think the books that are not biblical canon should be in the Bible. Well, same thing with Star Trek. You may not like that Star Trek Discovery or the JJ verse or whatever is considered canon, but if CBS says they're canon, they're canon. John DeMarco, are you in the US? Last time I checked, Amazon doesn't sell them for the I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let's see. Darren said, or I already read. So how are you coping with your Pornhub addiction? Darren, I have no idea what you're talking about. I think. I don't know what that is.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
I'm not crying.
And Daniel, I meant send me your Skype address in Discord. I didn't want you to put it in public for everybody to see. You know, some people, yeah, I just gotta tell you. Let me see. Control V. All right. And I assume, well, we'll see if I got the right person. So, and Alexander is here.
BIRDOPREY, fire the sky. Good shooting, Mr. Scott.
And now Alexander is saying Barbed Wire is a great movie. Alexander, we need to have a chat one of these days about what constitutes a great movie. It seems to me that your idea of what makes a great movie is just boobs. And let's see. What's the difference between a frigate and a destroyer? Sci-Fi asked to Darren. Be interesting to see what Darren's answer is. Tim Pool's a hard right conservative. LOL. Well, I'm just going. I don't know. I don't watch Tim Pool. That's just what I've heard. So maybe I'm wrong about that, Bird, but that's just what I've heard about him. And everybody else is just wondering what are your 3 favorite John Carpenter films? What are my 3 favorite John Carpenter films? Halloween, The Thing, and The Fog. There you go. Star Wars is mindless plebe. Star Trek is for the truly sophisticated sci-fi film. You see, now I think that's a little, obviously I can tell where your bias lies, but you got to be careful about that. And I know you're just kidding around, but remember the Star Wars, there's a place for action and fantasy and all that, and Star Wars does it well. And Star Wars doesn't try to be high concept sci-fi. Unfortunately, Star Trek isn't trying to be high concept sci-fi anymore either. So, yeah. Now YouTube is showing Cobra Kai for free anyway, says Rome Hater. Even less reason to subscribe. I did not know they were doing that. Roxall says, Tim Pool's not a right-winger conservative. He's a Bernie supporter. He's admitted as much. Oh, well, for some reason, why is it that everybody thinks he's a conservative then? I have no idea. I never watched his channel, so I don't know jack about him, to be honest. Tim Pool, the skateboard dude, conservative? He's a skateboard dude, too? Well, that's new to me. Chris says, boss, I've almost completed the Dyson Sphere. Awesome. So we have the Death Star has been operational for a little while, and the Dyson Sphere is on its way. Good. Tim Pool said himself he's center-left, not center-right. Then why is it that everybody calls him conservative? I don't understand. Darren is saying, stop going to Discord. There is no Discord. I know, I got to stop. I did post something in Discord, and checker pictures of memes. Oh, well, that's the thing. Unless you send it as a direct message, I can't check it during a live stream. I'm not going to start digging through the different channels on there. Krog just invented the sundial. Well, good for them. They're making progress. A mainstream radio show was talking about Google censoring conservative media, and we're saying something about Congress getting involved. Congress is already involved, sir. In fact, I highly recommend, and ironically, you can watch it on YouTube. What's his name? Senator Ted Cruz. You remember the kind of goofy-looking dude that tried to run for president? Yeah, he's actually all of a sudden become freaking insane. And I mean that in a good way. I tell you, if he were acting like this when he was running for president, I would have voted for him. But he's actually held a couple of hearings, bringing in Google execs and stuff. He is on the warpath with Google. So again, thank you, Alexander. Even though barbed wire, calling it a masterpiece, I think is a bit of a stretch, my friend. I love you, but I think you're crazy. Let's see. Thomas says, Antrager, CBS equals Karoga bull stuff. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. Bradley says, I love how Antitracker thinks out loud from years of making videos. I kind of do. That is true. I'm horrible about that. CBS can declare what's canon all day long. The people who pay them, us, are the real people who decide. Ever hear of Peter
Hello,
Cushing,
world,
Doctor
it's
Who movies?
BIRDOPREY.
Fire with Scott. Good shooting, Mr. Scott.
Alexander throws another couple of bucks in, says that he would buy the barbed wire comic books. I'm sure you would, my friend. And yeah. Ever hear that? But the Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies, as far as that's concerned, I don't think that was ever considered part of the same canon as the regular Doctor Who. Why? Because it's a completely different story. The guy's name was actually Doctor Who. He was not just the Doctor. Peter Cushing's Doctor was named Doctor Who. And he was a human, not a Time Lord, who invented a time-traveling police box. And yeah, they ran into the Daleks and all, but it was definitely not the same reality. Where are the boobs in the Final Frontier? Well, if you talk about Star Trek V, well, you have the Uhura fan dance, of course, and then you have the cat lady. So yeah, there you go. Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter. Prince of Darkness, not bad. Not my favorite John Carpenter film, but definitely not a bad film. Destroyer is a dedicated hunter-killer warship. Frigate is a multi-role vessel. Okay, well, there you go. Captain Jesse says, hey, Antitracker, hey, Captain Jesse. They Live is the best John Carpenter movie of all time. I think They Live is fun, but nah, I'm sorry. No. The Fog, I missed that one. I wonder, was that on purpose, missed, instead of The Fog? The Fog is far better than The Mist, in my opinion. I really saw Spider-Man From Home. Alex is happy. Well, good, I think. Darren says, The Fog any good? My third would have been Big Trouble in Little China. Ooh, I forgot about Big Trouble in Little China. That's a good one, too. I did really enjoy Big Trouble in Little China. And remember, The Fog, I'm not talking about the stupid remake of The Fog. I'm talking about the original. Do you think Starfleet Captain Ben Maxwell was a supporter of Section 31? No, but he really liked his instant coffee.
Hello, world. It's BIRDOPREY.
Fire with Scott.
So now we're getting into it. June says Barbarella was good, but Stripperella was better. Jeez. Oops. Finally saw Spider-Man. I figured it out. I'm glad. I really liked it. But I don't know what you mean by
world,
Alex is
it's
happy.
BIRDOPREY.
Fire with Scott.
Oh, Alexander. Gotcha. Alexander's
Shooting Mr. Scott.
saying Leslie Neal should be Doctor Who. She's an amazing actress. For those of you that don't know, Leslie Neal was a extra in the first or second season of TNG episode Peak Performance. And I referred to as Ensign Actress because of her incredible overacting. And now, of course, if you see my review of that episode, you can never watch that episode again without noticing her overacting. Let's see. Everyone I disagree with is alt-right and a conservative. Oh, I didn't know that, Tentacle. That must be what it is. That they disagree with you, so therefore they are, yeah. So, and the Renegade says, the Peter Cushing Doctor Who are adaptations of 2 William Hartnell serials. So on the one hand, not canon, but based on canon. Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, and in fact, I didn't think about that, but that's right. If you look at it's based on the 2 Hartnell Dalek stories. But the, and I would say that basically it's like when, that's like saying that Braveheart is the history of Scotland. No, it's based loosely on the history of Scotland. So, but thank you for that, Renegade. That's a good call out. And so there's June saying, let's see, wow, just keep skipping. Tim Pool's just calling it like it is when it comes to some of the left antics. Gotcha. Well, and that's enough to piss off Google, obviously. Daniel says, I was watching Iron Man 3 and it's actually a good movie. Yeah, Iron Man 3 is not a bad film. I think it gets a lot of flack because of the Mandarin thing. But honestly, I kind of liked what they did with the Mandarin, because the problem is if they could not portray the Mandarin as he appeared in the comics. If they tried to, they would have called it racist. So I think the way they did it was actually kind of clever. The America SJW left considers anyone from Alan Alda to Genghis Khan as alt-right conservatives. Alan Alda, oh man, I wish I could remember the name of the movie. Alan Alda, for those of you that aren't old enough to remember Alan Alda, he was, yeah. He was Mr. Sensitive New Age guy, but back in the 80s. And I remember we saw a movie with him, and me and Mrs. Antitracker saw this when we were just dating, so it was way back, either late 80s, early 90s. And in the movie, there was a girl, and Alan Alda, I think, was her father, or like her stepfather or something, and she didn't trust him, and stuff was going on, and it was like kind of creepy and kind of a suspenseful movie, and you're not sure what's going on. But then the climax of the movie has this girl running down the beach with Alan freaking Alda holding an axe, chasing her down, and we busted out laughing at seeing Alan Alda, axe murderer.
Hello, world. It's BIRDOPREY.
Fire with Scott.
And Alexander throws in another couple bucks saying that Hulk Hogan should play Captain Kirk on Discovery. Don't give them ideas. They might just do that. All right. So, imagine a crossover between Star Trek and Doctor Who. That would be crazy if done right. They did that in the comic books, and it is definitely something you could do, I think. And in fact, that would be the one way I think you could have an interesting adventure involving Kirk and Picard without the stupidity of the Nexus. Son of Richard says, Anti-Trekker, good answer on the John Carpenter films. The correct answer, however, is Escape from New York, The Thing, and a tie between They Live and Big Trouble and Little China. Nice try. Thank you for trying. Ooh, Escape from New York is another one. I forgot that was a Carpenter film. Boy. So I'm going to have to adjust my list. So I'd still say Halloween #1. I'm sorry. Halloween, I love that movie. Not any of the sequels, just the original Halloween. And then I think I'm going to stick with The Thing at #2, but I'm going to bump my #3 from The Fog to Escape from New York. And there's June's $2 Australian saying Barbed Wire is great, but Stripperella is better. I'm not going to even begin to get into that argument. My favorite Doctor Who is the one from King Kong Escapes. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about there, my friend. I've never seen King Kong Escapes. Life with Matthew is in. Oh, and there's the Alexander, put his 2 fake Canadian dollars in about Leslie Neal could be Doctor Who. Terrible idea. Hello, Ed Schdecker and all. Just got the notification for the stream. Well, I'm glad you're here. Life with Matthew. Better late than never. Commander Shran says hello. Darren says, "What's good about Captain Ben Maxwell and What's this about Captain Ben Maxwell and instant coffee?" Yeah, you don't remember Maxwell House instant coffee? Section 31 series would be good with Ben Maxwell. Okay. Mark says, "Just said a prayer for your back and knees. Hope things improve things." Thank you so much, Mark. I do appreciate that. And man, the injection in the back, I know it's so far, honestly, it's kind of made it worse a little bit, but we'll see. Who is the best actor in the Star Trek franchise? Patrick effing Stewart. No question. As far as regular cast members, from the first episode, from The Cage through the last episode of season 2 of Discovery, Patrick effing Stewart is definitely the best actor in the Star Trek franchise. And Miles Edward O'Brien is what Captain Jesse says. "The Boys is a good show, but kind of shallow how they portray Christians, typical idiotic followers." See, and I don't like that. That'll probably bother me a little bit if I watch it. So yeah. June says, "Agreed, the Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3 is good." I think it was. Iron Man 3 will definitely have a moment you lost me video someday. Don't forget, people, smash that like button, share via social, set chat to live, donate if you can, subscribe to a good YouTube channel, and down with MCU Aunt May's mom cheats. Oh, jeez. And there is Alexander's craziness about Hulk Hogan being Captain Kirk in Discovery. Please, no. Admiral Vilars here says, "Greetings. Went to the dentist with a headache today. Guess how I felt after effing headache today. Guess how I felt after she drilled for 30 minutes. Oh, sure, just dandy." Best Dr. Villains ranking list video possible. My rankings: first, the Daleks; 2, second, Cybermen; third, the Master. Oh, that's not a bad one. I might have to think about that. Although, I'm sorry, even though the Weeping Angels, holy crap, they're scary. I'm sorry, the Weeping Angels are great. The kid from, I think it's in Eccleston, the little kid with the gas mask. "Are you my mummy?" Creepy. Oh, creepy. But yeah, that's worth digging into, I think.
Hello world, it's BIRDOPREY.
Fire in the sky.
And Alexander with another fake
Shooting this
Canadian super chat says, "Watch Barbed Wire, it'll help calm you down." You know what, maybe if I can get Mrs. St. Tracker to watch it, maybe we'll watch Barbed Wire one of these days, but I doubt that. Yeah, it looks horrible. Holy crap, peak performance review is longer than the episode. Yeah, I know, that's a serious review. Was that Alan Alda's movie, Betsy's Wedding? I don't remember the name of the movie. It's going to drive me crazy. I'd have to look on IMDb, though. The first 2 Hartnell stories, he had a third story called The Space Museum where the Daleks get time travel technology. Oh, I don't remember that one. L.I. Hawkeye with an axe. Who stole the I tell you, it was so funny. It was so hilarious to actually see Hawkeye with an axe. And let me see if I can find it for you guys. All right, let's see. Images. It's going to be hard to find this little gem, I can tell. Dang, what was that movie? Let's see. So, Alan Alda. Oh, man. Just nothing there. It's so hard to find that specific image you're looking for. Oh, let me see. What's Mrs. Anti-Trekker's calling? Hey, babe. No, what'd you say? Whispers in the Dark. That's the name of the movie? Okay. Okay. Bye. So, the movie was called Whispers in the Dark. So, Mrs. Anti-Checker called me. She said she put it in the chat. I probably just haven't gotten to that chat yet. And so that movie has Alan Alda chasing a young woman on the beach with an axe. And I wish that, it's not, I can't find an image of Alan Alda on the beach chasing the girl, but that's the movie. Whispers in the Dark. Look for it wherever really bad old movies are available. So I guess Netflix, maybe. Let's see. Hulk Hogan as a Klingon, a real Klingon would be great. Better than a big show as an Orion slaver, and The Rock as an alien gladiator with funny bumps on his head. True, I could see the Hulk Hogan as a Klingon. That would be funny. You've never seen King Kong Escapes? Rex Reason was the bomb. No, I've never seen King Kong Escapes. Avery Brooks is the best actor in Star Trek franchise, not that bald, limey bastard. Avery Brooks is really good. Don't get me wrong. I love Avery Brooks as Cisco. But I got to give... I mean, everything Stewart is in, he elevates. If you watch his part in Dune, in Excalibur... I was a fan of Patrick Stewart before Star Trek. And so, I got to give it to him. And there is Alexander with this $2 super chat saying, "Botch barbed wire to help calm you down." And there is Mrs. Antrekkers. I tried texting, babe. The movie with Alan Alda, axe murder, is Whispers in the Dark. So there you go. And Darren says, you know what we need? A black barbed wire. Jeez. I'm sure that's coming soon. 55 watching, 38 likes. What's the deal, people? Well, Mrs. Antrekker would hear, everybody would be hitting the like button. Enter, Mrs. Antrekker was the voice of the computer. Do you think people would watch Picard just for her? Yes. It's funny because, in fact, this actually happened yesterday. We were driving all over the place with all these appointments that we had yesterday and everything. However, we got a call from Mrs. Antrekker's father because her nephew just wanted to hear her voice because she has such a nice voice. So, and it's absolutely true. You have to watch 1967's King Kong Escapes. It's Toho's follow-up to King Kong vs. Godzilla. You know what? King Kong vs. Godzilla is a horrible movie, and so, no, I don't want to see the follow-up. Alexander says, guys, come to my Discord after live chat. It's really scientific. Well, there you go. I'm sure it's very scientific. Josh says Mrs. Antrekker knows all. She has a much better memory than I do. Even though, like, with some of the medication she's taken, it makes her memory a little foggier, but she's still got a way better memory than me. I have all the Dalek episodes on DVD. It's the best, cheapest way to expand my collection, so I had at least one DVD from each Doctor. That's cool. I love the Daleks. I think they're a lot of fun. Is Miss Antrekker in chat? Well, she's on her phone, so she's not chatting much, but she is, at least last I know, she was listening. Vulcan blew up cheap gimmick. Dark Prince, I have no idea what you're talking about, but welcome. I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome to the stream. Avery Brooks was Hawk, enough said. Well, that doesn't mean he's a better actor. Got shot down by Brie Larson and AOC. Michelle Yao is single. Maybe she will accept my proposal from a younger guy. Well, I doubt it, but worth a shot. The only way I would watch a new Star Trek show is if Andy Trekker was in charge of faction and BIRDOPREY 5 is the leader of the opposing team, and that would be a funny show to see. That would be hilarious. Well, and of course, BIRDOPREY would have to be Klingon. In fact, here's what we do. So, BIRDOPREY and I will be warring houses in the Klingon Empire. So, the House of Craw and the House of Bird. So, that'd be awesome. Everything Patrick Stewart is in, he elevates. Have you seen The Naked Now? Well, okay, I'm not saying every episode of TNG was gold. You know how I feel about TNG, and I don't even like Picard in the first couple of seasons very much. But I'm saying that the actor, elevates what he's in. His gravitas, which is a word that's overly used, but Stewart's got it. If you look at him in TNG, he was great. You look at him in Dune, he was great. You look at him in Excalibur, he's great. You look at him in the X-Men franchise, he's great. So Patrick Stewart is a great actor. All right. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good actors in Trek, but Patrick Stewart is a great actor. Alexander says, Mrs. Antchecker, you shouldn't answer, don't call me babe like... You shouldn't answer, don't call me babe like barbed wire. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Darren Wagner, anti-trucker, Avery Brooks was at his best when he's pissed off, but sometimes his acting was over the top. Best actor, pound for pound. My money was Cole Meany or Andrew Robertson. Just say it. Well, I do think that Avery Brooks sometimes went over the top. But he was, he's one of those guys that when I would not want him as my angry dad. That's for sure. Black barbed wire should be Halle Berry. Just think Catwoman sans too much clothes. Well, maybe Halle Berry from a few years ago. Will this stream be uploaded later? I must be able to watch those after the fact. You still can, Blade Runner. If you go to antitrekker.com, you can view all of my live streams even after the fact. They don't get deleted or anything like that, and they simply go to unlisted. And so there's two ways you can watch an unlisted stream. One, if you want to watch this particular stream, you can copy the link in your browser right now and then paste it in anytime you want, and you can watch this stream even when it's unlisted, unless I delete it or make it private, which I generally don't do unless I accidentally put some information on the screen that I shouldn't. But then the other thing you can do if you want to search through my library of past live streams is go to antitrekker.com where you can view them all. The only reason they go unlisted, it's not like it's like something where people are upset because I have so many live streams. It's because of the YouTube algorithm. Keeping the live streams public hurts you in the algorithm. It's stupid, but that's, I got to play the game. You should write down my idea for you to do the possibility of top 10 rankings with the best Doctor villains. You know what? I doubt that I'm going to forget that one. Trust me, that's actually a good idea. In fact, not only that, but since we're doing we're mainly doing top 5 lists. I think that's easier to manage than top 10s, because what we do is we do top 5, bottom 5. So like we did the top 5 episodes of Star Trek, the original series. Next in our top 5, bottom 5 will be the 5 worst episodes. So, for example, top 5 doctors. And the worst doctors. I think that's good. I think the one of Patrick Stewart's lesser films is Masterminds. Then again, the movie itself wasn't all that great either. Well, and that's the thing. I'm not saying Patrick Stewart is perfect. I think he's a really strong Shakespearean actor. Now, does he have a ton of range? Not really. But the thing is that he's still, I'm actually hoping that Picard is a good series because Patrick Stewart is in it. Problem is that I have a feeling it's going to be the political crap that we've been getting out of Star Trek, and that's my biggest fear. Bird signed a waiver, so he gets no compensation when Spock injured him. Well, that sucks. Bird, that was really stupid of you, I gotta say. You should never, ever do that. Bird, that was just a dumb thing to do. No, it's stupid of you. Why would you sign a waiver? So, that's just never going to get old. Let's see. Where was I? Patrick Stewart couldn't hold Avery Brooks' script during a reading. Wow. I love Cisco, but dang.
Hello world, it's BIRDOPREY.
Fire in the sky.
Alexander, you are so crazy. Alexander, that's absolute proof that you are freaking nuts. So you want a top 5 Neelix episodes. I'd have to rewatch all of Voyager to do that, and that would be painful. Maybe I will one day. Thank you. I've been a member of the YouTube cult, and I'm getting used to watching things on other platforms. Thanks for the info. No problem, Blade Runner. No problem whatsoever. Every actor on DS9 is better than Patrick Stewart. Wow, Roxo. Wow. We want a top 5 Neelix episodes. Absolutely. No, you want that. I don't know why, but you are obsessed with Neelix for some reason. Neelos. There's interesting continuity with the Dalek episodes. Prior to Genesis, they had a vast empire and vassal races. After Genesis, they have a small empire, no slaves, and depend on Davros. That's true. Well, the thing is that continuity in Doctor Who is almost impossible to follow because he's a time traveler and things keep changing. The Master was a great villain in the original Who, but he's total crap in New Who. I tend to agree, actually. The Master was more interesting in classic Who than he is and she, of course, is in the later stuff. You should do a Stargate Origins video. Dude, Mr. Miles can go crazy editing them. I'm sure that would drive Mr. Miles insane. Roxall says, donation hype! And Son of Redshirt says, Antricker, have you seen Patrick Stewart in either Excalibur or Life Force? Yes to both. See both, but especially Life Force for Matilda May. LOL, great cult film. Life Force, I haven't seen in a long time. Excalibur is one of my favorite sword and sorcery films. I absolutely love it. And we even have a super chat from Excalibur, not Patrick Stewart, of course, but the only actor to outshine Patrick Stewart in Excalibur, namely BIRDOPREY 5. All this can be contribute to Genesis, where Davros makes changes to the Daleks based on meeting the Doctor, and the Doctor delaying their escape from Sarko for 1,000 years. I can't see. I don't. Man, you're into the lore a lot more than I am. I love Doctor Who, but I'm not a Whovian, so I don't know the lore very well. I tell you, the Renegade, you should be making some movies, some videos about Doctor Who. Top 5 Neelix episodes. Are there at least 5 episodes of Voyager he didn't appear in? I like that. Top 5 not to watch Star Trek. Yes, anything with Neelix. I'm sorry, Alexander. I know you love Neelix, but I hate him. For me, the best Doctor is the 10th Doctor with David Tennant. Then again, I'm only 23 and I love Tennant as the Doctor. Sue me if you strongly disagree with me. Actually, Sci-Fi Sith, I really like David Tennant. He is definitely my favorite of the New Who Doctors. And I would say he's up there as far as the only Doctors I would really put ahead of Tennant would probably be, and I think Mrs. Antricker likes Matt Smith a little more than Tennant, but I would say Hartnell. Oh gosh, now I'm forgetting his name, but the third Doctor, man, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. But yeah, first Doctor, third Doctor, fourth Doctor. I would put them ahead of Tennant, but that's pretty much it. Anyway, let's see. Top 5 pairs of MCU Aunt May jeans. I don't think that's going to be one of my videos. Would Picard be killed if he faced a Gorn if he was in the same situation and the planet as Kirk, but without Kirk's knowledge and combat experience? Funny you should ask, because we were, whatever happened to that, Mr. Miles? We were going to do a video on that exact topic. And I'm trying to remember what happened. Well, we just got it scrapped, but I think I'm going to have to revisit that idea. But yeah, so we speculated about that a little bit, and I will tell you, the Gorn situation at Cestus 3 would have gone very different had Picard been there instead of Kirk. However, not in the way you're thinking. Because here's the problem. If Picard were dropped on the asteroid that Kirk was by the Metrons and forced to fight the Gorn to the death, would Picard have done better than Kirk? Probably not. The Gorn probably would have had Picard for breakfast. However, and this is important, if Picard were captain of the Enterprise in that episode instead of Kirk, I don't think that the fight on that unnamed asteroid ever would have happened. I think that Picard would have resolved the situation peacefully. It was Kirk's overzealousness and combat readiness that got him into that position in the first place. Against the advice, by the way, of Spock. And so I think that Picard probably would have... thank you, babe. John Pertwee is the third Doctor. Man, I can't believe I forgot his name. I think that Picard would have actually negotiated with the Gorn and gotten a peaceful resolution, and it never would have come down to that. That's my honest opinion of it. Even though I'm more of a Kirk fan than a Picard fan, I think Picard would have actually dealt with the situation better. Phlox is better than Neelix. Quark is better than Phlox. Actually, I gotta agree with you there. There's an episode where Neelix died, so there's number one. There we go. Jeffrey Combs was good. He played Brunt and Weyun on DS9 and Shran on Enterprise. Yes, Jeffrey Combs showed a decent amount of range just on Star Trek. He was probably the best, aside from Gul Dukat, maybe, he's probably the best guest star that regularly appeared on Trek. Bird is obviously towards, Bird is obviously towards 2 photon torpedoes screaming his way while he keeps muttering Qapla'. Okay. I'd rather watch any Neelix episode over any TOS episode. Wow, Roxaw, that's brutal. Kirk kept giving away his position when he talked on the translator to the Gorn. That's true, and I don't think Picard would have done that either. He probably would have listened to the Metrons when they said it was a translation device, and Kirk just thought, oh, I guess it's just a recorder. What's it going to translate to? Oh, well. Let's see. Rumor has it David Tennant will be reprising his role as the human meta-crisis doctor. I heard that as well, like for the 60th anniversary, Tennant's going to show up. That'd be cool. And Renegade says third Doctor is John Pertwee. Yes, and Mrs. Antricker also, of course, mentioned it. Jeffrey Combs was also the crazy genius in the 4400. I never watched the 4400. Antricker, Cisco would have monkeys stomped the Gorn on Cestus 3. I doubt that. Because keep in mind, Kirk was an able-bodied fighter. Yes, the reason it looks silly and hokey is because it was filmed in the 1960s. But Kirk was portrayed as just as much of a badass as Cisco. What would happen if Starfleet launched Genesis into a black hole? Because the black hole has a massive collection of matter, Genesis device reorganizes matter. What would happen? That's an interesting question. That could be the subject of a book. I would say that if you launched Genesis device into a black hole, you could create a pocket universe complete with habitable worlds. I think it would be very interesting, something you could really get into. Super Blubberpuss. Well, welcome, Super Blubberpuss.
Hello, world. It's
BIRDOPREY, fire in the
5.
sky.
Qapla'. Qapla'.
BIRDOPREY, get knocked around.
Good shooting, Mr. Scott.
I do need to change that animation up. It's too long, but I love it. Anyway, the Demora Sulu naked is what we all want. No, you know what? No, it's not what we all... I don't think Mrs. Anti-Trekker, for example, cares about seeing Demora Sulu naked. She probably does. I don't even know if she knows who Demora Sulu is. I mean, she could please sit together from the name, but she may not know when he appeared. Anyway, top 5, Alexander asking for MCU and May. Yes, that would definitely be a list. I would really like to see more of Eccleston as the Doctor. Actually, me too. I don't think he got a fair shake. I know he had some problems with the producers of the show, and that's why he only lasted 1 season, but I thought he had potential. What if DS9 was commanded by Cisco, the performer of the Thong Song? That would be horrible. Wait, are you sure Spock was advising against things? I thought Spock was telling Kirk that he had to make sure they don't get away. Well, no, Spock was trying to suggest that it was not necessary to kill the Gorn, and then Kirk said, no, a crime has been committed, we're the only law enforcement in town, that kind of thing. And so then Spock said, well, if that's the case, if you feel that this is an invasion, then we must make sure that ship never reaches its home base. And then Kirk orders the pursuit. Later on in that same episode, as the pursuit is going on, Spock says that, you know, because when Kirk orders him to go up to warp 8 or something and it's dangerous, and Spock comes down and advises him that, you know, maybe the hot pursuit is enough and that we don't actually need to kill these guys. And Kirk says, no, we're going for it. So no, Spock advised twice against violence. If you want Doctor Who lore, you should try a channel called Clever Dick Films. Oh, is he really into Doctor Who lore? Okay. I'm not going to watch a bunch of Doctor Who videos. I'm just saying that Renegade obviously knows more about Doctor Who than me, and I would say, hey, put some videos out there. I hated Neelix, but I would take him back in a nanosecond over the abomination of discovery. Let's have a Neelix show. Yes. How about, that would actually be kind of funny. They could do a cooking with Neelix show where they actually cook real foods and have Ethan was it Ethan Phillips or who is it? Or the actor played Neelix do it. That would be great. Let's see. Son of a Red Chair. Anybody remember Jeffrey Combs in Reanimator? Yes, I do remember Reanimator. He was very creepy in that. Or as the Question in the Justice League. I didn't know he was the Question, but that's cool. But yeah, Reanimator, interesting, creepy movie for sure. If you haven't seen it, it's disgusting. But I remember me and Miss Sandtrekker saw Reanimator and Bride of Reanimator in theaters. Josh is saying, Miss Sandtrekker, we want more of your streams. I know you guys love Mrs. Sandtrekker more than me. And there's Alexander with his craziness about Sulu. Harry Mudd made Neelix look like an amateur sellout. TOS Mudd, not methed up disco Mudd. Yeah, I agree. And Miss Sandtrekker said, I'll try to come on soon, Josh. Well, thank you, babe. That would be good because they'll all send you money. And Nightbreeze in the house says, hi, Trekker, Miss Sandtrekker, and everyone. Hey. And Jason is laughing. Thomas says, Janeway would have made reptilian babies with the Gorn. Very true. Have you seen the new Star Wars toys? Nope. And I don't care to. Rocksod says, I just never liked TOS. I know, you've told me that before, Rocksod. And it's cool. It's all a matter of taste. TOS happens to be my favorite Trek. But I understand, different strokes for different folks, right? Cisco would have seen the Gorn and gotten hungry since he grew up preparing Cajun food with alligator meat. I'm telling you, Cisco would have devoured the Gorn. No, stop it. I love Cisco. He's a badass. I'm not saying Cisco would lose to the Gorn or anything, but, the Gorn is... You can't just beat the Gorn. You should check out Star Wars N64. I don't have an N64. Never owned a Nintendo, actually. Is Neelix a Sonic Hedgehog? I believe he is... he's like the slow hedgehog. Like Sonic is the fast hedgehog. Neelix is the opposite. Subsonic, the slow hedgehog. If Kirk was on a ship and Cisco fired those 2 torpedoes at the civilian planet, would he have stopped them and put Cisco under arrest for attacking the planet? Good question. I think that it would depend on if Kirk knew what was going on. And so if Kirk knew exactly the entire situation, I think he probably would have done the exact same thing that Cisco did. Kirk is not above breaking a few rules to do the right thing. Can Q make a rock so big that he can't lift it? Yes. Speaking of Threshold, in the episode had Neelix in it. Would anyone really rather watch that than an episode of TOS? Well, apparently Rock Solid, but not me. Oh, by the way, Rome Hater, on your can Q make a rock so big he can't lift it? The answer, I said yes so definitively because, number one, Q is not particularly physically strong. As you may recall, Cisco did, in fact, deck Q and knocked him down. So it's not like Q is particularly strong. Now, he could manipulate the rock using, telekinesis or something, or as Captain Kirk would say, telekinesis. But as far as actual lifting with just his muscles, no. Katam MKG says, Miss Sandtrekker, side note, the Alan Alda film, he was wielding a crowbar, not an axe. Oh, wow, my bad. It's bad memory. It was a long time ago. I don't even remember when that movie came out. Tomorrow I'll buy Red Sonja and Vampirella comics. It's absolutely great comics from Dynamite. Well, you have fun with that. Romater said Red Dwarf did a cooking show. I didn't know that. Picard versus Gorn on Cessus 3 means humanity loses. Picard was just too much a beta male to make it in Kirk's time. Well, I think that, but keep in mind, I think Picard would have negotiated, and I think he would have been successful. Mrs. Antitracker says, thank you, Captain. Old people forget things from too long ago. That's very true. Kirk gave General Order 24 in Taste of Armageddon to wipe out the planet. Maybe he was bluffing, but that's more extreme than what Cisco did. Exactly, John DeMarco. That's what I'm saying. I think that if Kirk knew the situation behind what Cisco was doing, he would have done it as well. Jeffrey Combs is the question in Justice League Unlimited's best reason to watch those cartoons. Well, I do like Jeffrey Combs, and I did like the question in the comics, so yeah, I'm all for it. Oh gosh, I could see it cooking with Neelix on the Nickelodeon stuff. Voyager episode things would be happening in the background, getting in the way of his cooking cast each episode. Yeah, see, it could actually be fun. Thomas has a Neelix cookbook. Of course you do. And Mrs. Aintrick says, on the way home, bye guys. Well, that's a warning. Obviously, I need to sign off soon if she's on her way home. Thomas says, Rome Hater, what's wrong with Threshold? I thought Threshold is a popular episode. What? If Mirror Archer could beat a Gorn, Cisco could beat 4 Gorn. Well, don't get me started on the Mirror Archer Gorn thing, because that was not a frickin' Gorn. I'm sorry. I know you're a big fan of Enterprise, Darren, but that was not a frickin' Gorn. The Gorn were defined by being slow and nigh invincible. And that Gorn was like a frickin' salamander zipping around, and no, sorry. Mark saying bye to Mrs. A-Checker. Darren says, or Drenegade says, Darren, you might be right. Cisco did muse about asking Kirk about the Gorn in Cessus 3. Maybe you want a recipe ideas. That's wrong. Let's see. Popular doesn't mean good. You should know that, Thomas. Well, that's true. Josh saying for Miss Tricker to have a great night. Which N64 Star Wars? There's a few of them, mostly all good for the time. I never had an N64, so I wouldn't know. Super Blubberpuss says, I used to attend Trek conventions during the golden age with the original cast. Nothing compares. I agree. I went to my first Star Trek convention back in the 70s. Had an absolute blast. Went to a few of them in the 80s. Loved it. Comic-Con, not even close. Not even close. I mean, it was really cool. It was at a Comic-Con that I finally got to actually meet William Shatner, and that was a wonderful moment. But the convention itself, compared to the old Trek conventions, just not as fun. Telekinesis is a lot harder than it looks, says BIRDOPREY. Yes, BIRDOPREY, by the way, claims to have telekinetic powers. I think he's been watching those BIRDOPREY television things a little too much. Which reminds me, Bird, we need to record some new footage. I want to try to redo the television effect one of these days. I meant you should check out the custom Star Wars N64 I made. Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a custom one. And then Thomas throws in a link for something from Amazon. Star Trek. Oh, it's the for the cookbook. Let's take a look here. Star Trek Cookbook from 1999 by Ethan Phillips. Wow, what do you know? That's kind of creepy. And here's what's funny. The Kindle... how does this make any freaking sense? The Kindle version is $17.99, while the paperback version is $12.22. What? How does that make any sense that a digital copy would cost more than a physical copy? Somebody explain that to me. I don't get it. Sorry, just didn't mean to go on a rant there. All right. So the Jeffrey Combs question was way more authentic than the original Ditko creation than anything that DC had published. Well, I've not seen it, so I could not comment on that, my friend. I'd buy Stripperella DVD for sure. It looks amazing. Of course you would, Alexander. That was the animated with Pamela Anderson.
Hello world, it's BIRDOPREY.
Fire with Scott.
Applause. Applause.
And Scotty donates $1 and says,
Shooting Mr. Scott.
hello, computer. Hello. And so, and wants to see number 23. So number 23, Scotty shall see. I love that one. All right, so let's see. Got to wrap it up here in just a minute, so let's get through this. The first Star Trek con I went to was in 1991. I went Shatner at the 2016 Comic-Con. Very cool. Yeah, I met Shatner, and I think was it 2016? I'm trying to remember. But it was in Nashville. But yeah, that was really cool. Hello, Kindle. You're doing marketing wrong. Yeah, really. Dead trees it is then. Yep. How many different Defiant class warships to take on a Sovereign class ship? Well, not that many really, because the Defiant actually seems to have superior weaponry. And it is a tough little ship. Keep in mind that, yes, it lost to the Borg, but it was in the fight for a long time before the Enterprise showed up. You can get it used for under $5. Yeah, I know, but I was just comparing new prices. It's still cheaper new in paperback form than in the freaking Kindle version. That makes no sense. Maybe Amazon's trying to clear inventory. Could be. Alexander says, the MCU Aunt May series, we want that. All right. Well, I'll ask Mrs. Antichecker if she wants to see Aunt May naked, and if so, I will join your cause, Alexander. They're going after the younger kids. Okay. The paperback is cheaper because Quantum. That's correct. I recommend the Plomeek soup from the Neelix cookbook, though I did add way more spices than the recipe called for. Oh, okay. Anyone else see access denied on Antitrekker's shirt? Access denied? What are you talking about? I cut Enterprise slack for updating the Gorn. Didn't seem feasible, so slow a creature could rise to the top of its food chain. Love me some TOS Gorn, though. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, why is access denied to your shirt? What are you talking about? Why is access denied to you to your shirt? I have no idea what you're talking about, John. It says, so will I. It does not say access denied. I have no idea why you're saying that. Why? It doesn't say access denied. I don't know why. What? You guys are going nuts. Don't forget, people, smash that like button, share via socials, set the chat to live, donate if you can, subscribe to a good YouTube channel, and down with Demora Sulu's blouse. Oh, you guys are horrible. The best scene in Justice League Unlimited was a Huntress trying to get the Question to flirt on the phone. What are you wearing? Trench coat, fedora, orange socks. That's funny. Hey, Maker's Enterprise, so is Canon Gorn. They own the intellectual property, so I guess you're wrong, right? Sure, Darren, sure. Well, here's the thing. I understand that they were, they're trying. Okay, in the mirror universe, Gorn are fast. How about that? Instead of slow, they're fast because it's the freaking mirror universe. How would the warship Voyager stack up against a Borg cube? Well, we've seen that. The Voyager apparently can defeat the entire collective because it's freaking Voyager. The warship Enterprise D under Riker versus the Cisco Defiant. Interesting, because that phaser lance is deadly and would probably slice right through the Defiant. But the Defiant is very maneuverable, and it would probably be hard for the D to get a lock on. So, that's, yeah, I don't know. It's gone now, but before the animation, access denied appeared faintly behind your shirt? That's weird. I don't know. That's bizarre. Must have had to do with the chat. Must be. Yeah, maybe the chat widget is right there where my shirt is, so maybe that's what you were seeing. Someone sold me 4 Chromebooks for $200, $50 each. Very cool. Maybe you should sell some Chromebooks for $100 each. The access denied maybe because you can't see the chats on screen. That could be. There could have been a problem with Streamlabs or something. So the next episode of the Pinsky podcast will be all about In the Pale Moonlight. The movie Trivia Schmodown, it just did an all-Star Trek episode. Oh, very cool. How about the Gorn are more diverse than we knew because we only see one until in a Mirror Darkly Part 2. That's a possibility too. You know, it could be a Gorn subspecies or something. Hey guys, sorry I had late problems with my phone. I'm sorry, Chief, because I'm just getting ready to wrap it up. But welcome and goodbye. I was at 20th anniversary Star Trek convention in City Hall in Toronto with Shatner and full cast. They also had John, I can never pronounce his last name, super cool. They spent a lot of time answering questions. Best free show. Very cool. Renegade says, given the Gorner reptiles, maybe the environmental conditions were more favorable on Enterprise, so it could move faster, and sluggish in TOS because it was cold. That is very possible. If he's cold-blooded, then yeah, it's possible that maybe if the asteroid they were fighting on didn't fit his body warmth requirements, that could actually make sense. And Chief Cook says it's time for Naked She-Hulk. I can share the link for the All Trek Schmodown, but please don't share it. Well, then don't put it in there if you're not supposed to share it, Mercer. I don't want you to get in trouble, all right? Don't do anything that will get you in trouble, my friend, because I like you, and I don't want you to get in trouble. All right, so it is time to wrap it up here, though, so I need to do one quick thing before I wrap it up, and that, of course, is to make our resident crazy very, very happy.
The board vessel's moving into range.
On screen.
Let's get lost in that magic place all alone now. Drink your fill from my fountain of love, wet your lips. I'm a man, I'm a teaser, I'm a man, well I'm a virgin, I'm a man, I'm a one-night stand, a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a dream, I'm a dream divine, make love together.
He's dead.
I gotta say, so Darth Maul says one of our customers was Paul Comey. He was Lieutenant Styles in Balance of Terror. He was always kicked to see him at his coffee company. Always said he was blessed to be a part of Star Trek. Yeah, you know, and I'll say, you know, actors like that don't get a lot of credit because you just remember them as being the jerk, right? But yeah, he did a good job as Styles. I actually, you know, that's cool. And Surf says, Andrew, fix my editing program now. It doesn't work and it's your fault. How is it my fault? Just uninstall, reinstall? I don't know what editing program you even use. So, yeah. All right, guys. Oh, thanks for hanging out with me. I always appreciate it. And the Enterprise scoring was the Michael Burnham Gorn. Very true, yes. All right, guys. Have a good one. You know, but Miss Night Checker's going to be home any minute, and I got to, you know, go hang out with her because she's way prettier than any of you guys. Sorry. It's just a fact.
We got it. We got it. Ah, shit. Okay, now we need to possibly use the rockets. No. Yes. Come on. No. Come on. No. Oh, God damn it. Wait, we can do it. Oh! Why do you hate me? Oh no. Hello world, it's Murfreesboro.
Fire in the sky.
And Josh Street throws a buck in right at the last possible second there. So Josh, You let me know what you want, my friend, and I'll put it up there as 1 through 26. Cinnabon saying, having a good night. I'm very, very pretty too. You haven't seen me in that sundress that Bird sent me. It's true, I haven't, but you know what? I'm taken. And Mrs. Antchecker is I'm sorry, she's the best. Give a good hug to Mrs. Antchecker from all of us. Absolutely. I will hug her 50 odd times, once for each of you. Thank you, Darth Maul. But Josh, you got to tell me what you want for your super chat. And then we'll listen to some more Bird of Prey as we sign out. So waiting on Josh. It's all about waiting for Josh now. I'm gonna give you. Here's what I'm gonna do, just like I did before. I know there's a little bit of a time delay, so I'm gonna count down from 5. Okay, now Josh picked number 26. All right, so we're gonna do number 26. And then Alexander's going to do a live stream, so everybody should check out Alexander's live. Seriously, Alexander's so Batwoman crazy. Go to his live stream. He will, he's hilarious. You got to hang out with him a little bit. And Chief says, hey, Trace, where's my super chat? Well, what did you want, Chief? And I will play it as well. And so Bird said I had to wear a dress. I told him I'm a man. He said he didn't care. Yeah, that sounds like Bird, all right. Chief Cook wants bird crying. All right, we'll sign off with some bird crying after some frosted fruity holes.
The toast and eggs are really good, but there seems to be something missing. Yeah. That's what you're having for breakfast? That simply won't do. Follow me instead. What kind of place are you taking us to? A place that will introduce you to Frosted Fruity Hulls. Not only does it have 4 unique fruity flavors, but it also has a glazed frost that makes it extra yummy.
How do they get so deliciously frosty?
The frostiness of Frosted Fruity Hulls, of course, comes from this hull. Part of a complete nutritious breakfast. The toast and eggs are really good, but there seems to be something missing. Yeah.
Why do you hate me? Oh. Oh. Why do you hate me? Oh. I'm not crying. I've got soot in my Why do you hate me? We got it. I'm not crying. I've got soot in my Why do you hate me? No. Yes, yes. Come on. No. Come on. No. God damn it. Why do you hate me? Wait, we can do it. Yes. Come on. No. Come on. No. Why do you hate me? God damn it. Why do you hate me? Wait, we can do it. Yes. Come on. No. Come on. No. Why do you hate me? God damn it. Why do you hate me? Wait, we can do it. Yes. Come on. No. Come on. No.
Heidi! God damn it! Heidi! Wait, we can do it! We can do it!
We got it! We got it! Yes! 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 Come on! No!